Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Ella with Analysis. Okay, so this is one of the most important uh, idea that I'm going to publish, right? So it's not going to be just for a single, instrument, right? So it's not just going to be a Bitcoin or Ethereum or Gold or Nasdaq, right? So this is about the entire market, right? So okay, so the TLDR is that I think the market is going to crash right in the third wave, right? And also that also means that the US dollar is going to strengthen. Okay, so what this means is that in theory this is a flight to safety, and the safety can only be cash. Why? Because for example, if you think gold is another hedge, right? But no, because gold is part of a portfolio. So when everything goes down, there'll be margin call, right? There'll and then people will start to sell gold also because that's part of the portfolio. So the only safety is the cash, which is US dollars. Okay. So then right. So let me just start. Okay. So since I'm at Bitcoin, I'll start with Bitcoin first, right? So Bitcoin, the if you have seen my previous idea, right? I talk about shorting this over at this point, right? And then you see that I've updated the wave. So over here I have wave one, wave two, right? And this move down is actually wave one of three, right? So wave one of three. I think there is some spelling error. Okay, so this is wave one of three, right? Then we actually have this wave two of three that actually hits the previous trend line, right? You broke down from this trend line, okay, during the wave one of three, and then now we are going to wave two of three. So this is ABC, right? So from here, let me just remove this outdated one. Of course, if you have followed my previous idea, you will have hold on to this uh this position, right? So I'm saying that if you have you're going to enter a new position. Okay, sorry, let me just move this down to this price since I'm talking about it here. Okay, you can now adjust your stop loss, okay, to this above this trend line, right? So over here roughly it's just about let me just make it more precise. Okay, just slightly above this, right? Then we have about 68,400 around there. Sorry, 69,400. Okay, so this is for Bitcoin. Similarly for Ethereum, right? So I published the Bitcoin and Ethereum idea at the same time, right? So you have this stop loss which you can now adjust down, right? So if you're shorting here, right, let's move this to so above this wave two of three, right? So there's around 2,165. Okay. As for the target itself, we'll need to move down, right? So you can the target you can use this as 1,388, right? So let me just go back to the Bitcoin one first, right? Bitcoin, if you have seen my previous idea, right? The first target is actually 49,000. Then we have a subsequent target, right? So just keep this in mind first. But or rather, maybe we just look at the short term target first, which is 49,400. Okay, for Bitcoin, and Ethereum it is slightly below 1,400. Okay, so now let me go to this dollar yen, right? Dollar yen. Okay, so for dollar yen, I will not go through the whole wave because I haven't. I think this big wave is probably wrong. Okay, so let's look at the shorter term one. Okay, so I just want to point out over here that I've drawn this A B C. Okay, A, B, and a C, and this is a five way. So this is a irregular flat. Okay, and the most important thing is the five wave here, right? And then we have this move up. Okay, so then this move up tells me that likely this is the bottom. Okay, and if I have to long this, then where should I be putting my stop loss, right? So this is quite clear cut. Just put it um at the bottom here, right? Then your target is likely to be here, right? Of course, I do expect that it will go way up because I expect market crash and the flight to safety. Okay, but this is kind of like the most immediate target that we can look forward to. Okay. Next we look at euro dollar. Okay, so euro dollar itself, you see that I've drawn this trend line over here. Okay, and it hit this trend line and got rejected. Right. So euro dollar is I my experience with euro dollar recently is that euro is quite resilient. Right. So between euro dollar and dollar yen, if I have to long USD, I will prefer to be at um the dollar yen, right, instead of shorting euro dollar. But nevertheless, right, if you have to short this, okay, so then over here, same, I will put it um above this high here. Okay, and then our next immediate target is around here. Okay, so over here you can see that we do have quite a good support here, right? One, two, and here. So we have about 140 pips of profit potential, right? So over here, the risk reward ratio is 9.77. Okay, so this is for euro dollar. Okay, then we go to gold. Okay, I didn't update too much on silver, so let's talk about gold. Okay, gold itself, um, my previous idea was to short it here, but I identify this as a ABC. But in my previous idea, I talked about the potential for it to be a double combination. Okay, double combination. So the alternate count has happened, right? And over here you see that it has reached this point, this previous wave 4 high, right? It breached a little bit, right? It breached a little bit before it comes down. Okay, so to short this, right? To short this, then our stop loss is above here, 4,748, right? So I would, because of the volatility in gold, I would say, put it very tight against the high, right? So it's about 47,000, sorry, 4,750. Okay, and then your take profit will be here. Okay, so this is the immediate take profit that we'll be looking for, which is about 4,100. Okay, so this is for gold. Right, next I will go to I'll just choose one of these, right? Or maybe I'll just go through all. Okay, so look at S&P 500. S&P 500. Now the nearby, of course, if you zoom out, you see a lot of potential uh support and resistance, right? But let's look at these the shorter term one, right? So we have this that I drew, which is potential resistance here. So for S&P 500, it actually breaches this, right, before, now that you see it turn down. Okay, so over here, if I do a short, okay, then similarly I will put this just above the high, right? So the reason why I'm publishing all this idea at this point in time, right, is because I see that we can set a very tight stop loss, right? And also, the reason why I'm going so fast is because I'm trying to publish this as soon as possible. Okay, so for now, we can, I would say that personally, I will put this a little bit lower, this target, so that gives us about 340 points for uh, S&P 500. Then for Nasdaq, similarly, we look at this short-term resistance over here, right? Of course, there's few more over here, but it has been very jiggery, right, for the indexes, right? So over here, if I have to do this short, okay, right, I'm trying to rush this because the fall seems to be quite fast since I recognize this, right? Yeah, when I decided to do this, it has fallen quite a bit, right? So I was actually wanting to do it somewhere around here, around 2,400. So price is moving faster than I can go through these charts, right? So once again, a lower target. So this for Nasdaq, it gives us about 1,200, right? 1,200 points, right? Of course, we still have the stop loss here, right? Which is around 24,050. Okay. Lastly, I want to go through which is the Nikkei 225. Now, it is important for any equities trader, right, to look at Nikkei 225 because this is the one that sets the tone for the US market. Okay. And usually it's a lot more volatile than the US market, right? But it will go um, along with the US market during the US trading hours. Okay, so for this, similarly, right, this is now not such a good price to enter, but still manage your size, right? Similarly, put it above the high here, right? And for this, okay, so you see over here, I would say, similarly, I would say to be more aggressive in our take profit. Right, in fact, I'll go all the way down to this previous for here for next for Nikkei, and the reason is because it is a lot more volatile than uh Nasdaq or S&P 500. Okay, now over here you will notice that I actually drew something that resembles a wedge, right? So a wedge. So if I'm wrong about this whole move, right, that this blue color one is actually a wave one of five, right? Then this becomes a wave two of five. So this five wave becomes a B, and then you have this wedge that is actually a C, right? So over here you see that he actually broke this wedge, and the short term confirmation that we are looking at, like whether this short is correct, will be actually if it re-enters this wedge, right? Maybe with some distance to spare, right? Maybe 52,700, right? So if it enters here and convincingly, right, then we can say that this wedge itself is actually the wave one, right? So then this becomes like a leading diagonal, and then we have wave two, right? So this is a wave one of three, wave two of three, and then wave three of three. So then this becomes consistent with, say, our Bitcoin and Ethereum. Okay, where we identify this move up as a wave two. Okay, so that's it for this video analysis, right? I hope that I help you in this, right? So that's it, and good luck in your trading. Thank you.